So we can start. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in and or jumping in the last moment. It's really wonderful to see you. You give us even more like the energy to really start off this. I think it's an exciting journey that I first saw as a supporter to Sri Manjari to kind of do something she has been wanting for a long time. But now I'm also here learning together with you, and at the same time maybe giving some of my input of what I've learned. So maybe not all of you know us yet. So first we will just introduce ourselves, and then we will see some questions that we have been asking each other. And then in the end, you'll have some opportunity to also ask questions or write them down during the talk as well. And yeah, let's see what happens. So my name is Mangala, and I live here in Belgium for quite a while already. And I've been starting to use the oils since maybe 5-6 years. And I've been very fortunate that I've been starting with doTERRA oils. And maybe we'll talk more about that, although I think most of you already use doTERRA oils. And through this journey, of course, I've learned a lot, and especially how powerful the oils can be for our physical health. And then, of course, mental health and also like spiritual path. And I've been very fortunate to also discover how powerful they are in this work with chakras. And when I discovered that, I was really like impressed and even more like enthusiastic to learn more and to dive deeper. So yeah, and then Sri Manjari, I can just tell a few words. It's such a pleasure to work with you, because I feel we're very much like equally minded. I think that's in general in the team where we work. It's very beautiful. We can learn a lot from each other. And at the same time, I think you have very profound knowledge and understanding of this healing work, like on a very subtle level. And of course, you've been helping people for quite a while already. So I think you'll have a lot of experiences to share with us, but maybe you can say more about yourself.
Thank you, dear Mangala. I feel very inspired to do this right now because of you, because you're just so wonderful, so supportive, and her love for working with essential oil, it's really always like inspires me to like also like remember, oh, actually I can use this oil. Or so it's very nice every time we meet, like every week, and we discuss like how we are approaching with oils and our experiences. So we thought to make it also an opportunity to go live and speak about these things, because I feel like they're very relevant to myself, and I feel they can be very, very helpful to many people, because there are really like little tricks and little ways that can really enhance really deeply our health and our emotions. And the more we become aware of both, it's really just very inspiring. And yeah, I'm so grateful to Mangala, so grateful for this tea party chakra and essential oils.
Talk.
Yeah, the tea also, because we want to keep it like also relaxed, so you can also feel comfortable to like ask questions or think about it, and just honestly, think about your own life and what that means for you, essential oils and subtle body energy and chakras. So any question at the end is really, really welcome. Mm-hmm. And okay, a little introduction about me. I'm Sri Manjari. No, so I've been okay. So my journey started with a process of going deeper into meditation and transcendental meditation regarding the chakras. And the first book I approached was the Tibetan Book of Death, because there was one of the first texts that gave me a lot of understanding about why we are here in this world, and all the process of dying and healing ourselves in the process of dying. But with the years, there are definitely so many more practices that can support, because ultimately that's the goal, to really transform ourselves before it's the time. And so that was like my first journey with my first teacher, guru, that was instructing me. That was like 9 years ago. Yeah, it's a long time. Oh.
But you're very young, no? So...
Yeah, I started at 17, so now I'm 27, almost 28. So it's yeah, almost 10 years. Yeah, so it's really, can't believe it. And that, yeah, that was just the start, because then that a lot of confusion was also there, because it was a lot about energy and not so much about understanding actually the purpose of this life right now. And that led me very much into discovering Krishna consciousness, that gave like a profound experience of actually devoting our time and energy in that. And with that, I feel like at the start I felt like, oh, that's all you need spiritual consciousness. But then with the time I realized more, actually it's important to also find different tools that can help also in that devotional practice. And so I took back again all those teaching, and I went deeper into it with studying yoga and yoga therapy and pranotherapy, pranic healing. I did many different courses, and ultimately I had very good teacher that also taught me by example, really by showing me the power of these practices. And they're also devotees, so they really managed to find a way to harmonize both worlds. And
so when you say devotees, because maybe not everybody's aware of it, so maybe like spiritual practitioners, so those who already are practicing some spiritual practice or connection meditation. Nice.
That was very inspiring for me, because I thought, you don't need much if you develop your devotion. But then I understood actually it's important for me to also keep my healing practice with awareness, with understanding of every step I'm going through. And I felt the chakras was really like the best way for me to understand and work on myself and with others. And in the last 5 years, I've been more teaching yoga and also doing outside with many people, teachers, students, with all kinds of people. I've been doing these workshops about the chakras and connected with the yoga. And now I'm grateful we can also do it connected with essential oils. And so also this, it's beautiful we can record this. So it's nice also to remember in the future.
We can watch again ourselves. Yeah, it's interesting because you brought in this thing that I think we'll address more times during this series of talks, the fact of how you can actually approach the knowledge of chakras from different perspectives. Like you said, you had quite some experience from perspective of yoga, how yoga can help you heal the chakras. And now we'll be also addressing more the aspect of essential oils, and of course the mantras and visualizations, all these different practices we'll be doing through the weeks. So this will, I think, will be very relevant, and we'll try to focus on the oils as well, but I think a lot of other things will probably naturally come for us inside. So thank you so much for sharing, because I think for me it was similar, understanding that first, okay, how do I heal my body? But then when you start to understand how a lot of things are connected with energies, the awareness really like brightens about that. So I think maybe we could address that. What are chakras? Because we all kind of feel there's something in the body, there's sometimes we feel better or we feel some disbalance or some like strange energy in some different parts. But what is it? Maybe you could say what you understand as what is chakra? What are chakras?
Yeah, so it's very fascinating. So the first time I got to know them, it was definitely through explanation that our energy centers, we have 7 main energy centers in our body, and they're connected with the nadis. So there are around 72,000 nadis in our body. And that
explain what is nadi, because maybe
the nadis are energy, some channels in the body. They're not, sometimes they say like nerves, they're not nerves, but they are just subtle nerves that we have. but not really physical, that are helping us, like not helping, but they are present in our body. And that's how many channels we have through which we receive energy, we perceive energy, and also we reject and we protect ourselves. So there are actually many subtle energy in our body, but the main ones that are also easier to work with and understand are these 7 chakras, and then 3 main important nadis that are the Ida, Pingala, so the right and the left, and the Shushumna, so the center one. That's probably people that work more with Kundalini meditations. That's what they practice more, to transmutate this sexual energy, because part of the reason why we are in this material world is because of sexual energy. So ultimately, it's important to clear it out, and the best way is definitely through devotion, but also daily bringing awareness to this center can also help us very much with controlling desires and feelings and emotions that are all part of this sexual energy. So this is...
Yeah, what I've heard actually, that in the body we have many chakras. It's not, we're talking about 7 main chakras, which we'll address. But there's many chakras. Like, even I've seen some very interesting exercise. Maybe we'll show it later, how we can feel it between our hands. So even we have hands chakras. So, you know, people who heal, they also can use that. And so it's really interesting awareness. But the way I understood is that energy which flows in our body, yeah, we have like, even the cells are made of energy. You know, we have protons, electrons, neutrons, and so on. So everything is moved by energy. And then when this energy in these centers, which are the wheels, our chakras, a chakra is actually called a wheel in Sanskrit, then the energy sort of spins in a certain way because it meets in these centers, isn't it? And then it depends whether it spins too fast or too slow. Then we have this energy disbalances. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how.
Very, very good. Yes.
And so maybe, yeah.
And then, like you were saying, then they have these different ways of how you can see if they are on excess, or they are in defect, or they can be balanced. And then they can also be opened, meaning that through a constant practice and meditation on this, and the chakra can be completely open. So then there are opportunities for deeper self-realizations and understanding of our purpose, and they can empower actually people very much to be better human beings and ultimately share love together.
So basically chakras, you know, like we can understand everything that's manifested as energy. Even like sacred scriptures speak about that everything is made from energy. So even our bodies, everything. And if we understand chakras, this was probably the most fascinating for me, is that we start to realize that things that we thought always is just our character, you know, oh, I just can't speak so much in public because I feel more comfortable one-to-one. It's basically just because of my, you know, whatever chakra combination. And it's not fixed, you know, we can actually work on that in different ways, which many of them will show here, and we will practice them together. And we can actually, quote unquote, change our character, or things that are actually not working for us, you know, to help us in our spiritual path or whatever we're aspiring to do in life. So this was very fascinating for me.
Yeah, it's there are some like we will explain in the next session. There are some like basic ground rules that we can all like relate to, but then there is the more deeper we go inside, we see how they are very much connected to each other. And so, for example, the earth chakra is the Muladhara, so it's like connected to the earth. Second chakra is Vadisthana, so it's connected with the water element.
Could you say where they are? Because maybe not everybody knows. Like while you're speaking about them, you can maybe, if you want.
Yeah, because it's good. It's the first time we are doing this, and it's really nice. I'm so grateful because I do skip things, and you know, it's really, really good. So the Muladhara is the base, so it's at the base of our spine, very much connected with also the feet and legs. So they're basically our roots. Then we have Svadhisthana, that is the second chakra. Okay, the first one is a red color. I think maybe everybody has heard about this. Second chakra is orange color and is connected with the element water, is under the umbilical cord, and is related to sexual energy, but also to creativity and to self-expression. Then the third chakra is Manipura, so it's yellow and is connected to the sun energy. And then
that's why it's yellow. Yeah, that's why it's yellow.
Yeah, they're all, very true. This one is even more clear to remember. And it's connected with the presence, power, energy. Then the heart chakra, Anahata, that's the center of the heart, and is green, like a garden, the garden of the heart, and it's connected with love, with acceptance,
relationships.
The more we go, even the first ones are connected with relationship, but the more we go high, they're more connected to our subtle self, so to our real self, to our values. So from the heart, it already starts to be like more about the connection of who I am, like deeply on a deeper core, and love, self-love, and connecting with other beings on that space. Then Vishuddha is the throat chakra and is very much on the bluish turquoise color, and is connected with the speech, but also the values of integrity, of being honest, truthfulness. So that becomes very much blocked when our value of truthfulness become denied, or we cannot speak what we really think. Then we're just going shortly. Then we have Agya, so it's the third eye, in the middle here, and it's very also around purple color, and is connected with the indigo maybe color. Anyway, there are different shadows. And then it's connected with vision, with the element of light. So the throat was sound. This is more connected with light. So when we develop, ability to see auras, or to actually see people's energy, or perceive the light that is around us. So it becomes more and more subtle. And then the Sahasrara, that is the crown chakra, and it's very very much connected on consciousness. It's a very light purple, and and it's very much connected with consciousness and understanding the unity of all being, the unity that we all have in common. And the imbalance of the crown chakra is probably one of the worst, because that's what makes people go into depression. So it's really we will speak then in the next.
I think that will be that will be really good, because while you were speaking, I saw how much we will go in the depth, and especially the seventh chakra, like sometimes they also connect crystal or white color with it.
Yes.
And then actually how this energy is actually influencing all the other chakras the most, and they're all connected, which we will speak about more, but like the fact that this one is most influencing all the other ones. And depression can appear from different reasons, from different sources in the body, but this one is the most severe usually, if it comes from this balance. And actually what I've heard is that in this age now, in these past few years, when there's so much chaos, actually people really suffer with imbalance in this chakra, or even blockage. And so actually it's a very important time to have more understanding of how to balance this energy.
Very much. Yes, it's very it's the beauty that we will speak about this is because you can then you can understand how things can relate to you, and then you know better how to act. And sometimes what we discover is just to use a drop of oil on top of the head when you feel because when, for example, this is unbalanced, it means that you feel everybody's energy, you feel like everything is because of you, and like you are sucking the negative energy from everybody. So is a
or
terrible,
subtle entities
or
or
subtle entities, and it brings people to suicidal, you know, like really heavy. And just by awareness and doing, for example, the most basic way to do it is, for example, frankincense is one of the most powerful oils, you know, and you can immediately have experience by putting it, and how much is already creating like a shield around. And then that thing, definitely there should be a deeper work that we would do together. But yeah, it's
amazing.
very...
So actually you just brought it very naturally to this question of why would we use oils on chakras, because they're energies. So how does this affect the chakras?
Our essential oils
Mm-hmm.
affect chakras. Yeah, that's something that I'm still trying to figure out.
Okay.
But somehow it does work, right? Like,
Okay.
so definitely there is a difference by using doTERRA essential oils and other oils. I have different oils, and I also try every time I have some friends, and I'm like, you know, these are the same smell, but one is from doTERRA and one is, you know, from a very famous company of oils, and you smell the, you know, first the one, and then when you smell the doTERRA one, somehow it really feels like it goes behind you, the smell. Like it has such a like a purity, and the beauty is that you can also take them internally without any, of course, also in quantity, but without damaging your system, because there is a very interesting process of how they're distilled, or all the process they go through. And then and that, like, my most amazing experience was the first time I smelled it, like wild orange, and I'm like, I don't even like oranges. You know, I don't eat them, and usually I'm not interested. But when I smelled wild orange the first time, I was like, wow, like I feel inspired by the orange, you know, like
from Sicily, no?
Yeah, and I was really they remind you also of things, you know, from that, because nowadays we also don't have opportunity to have real fresh food and real flavors in the fruits that we eat. And so it really opens these channels that they've been blocked because we haven't been able to have the source from the really good type of product. And so they do reawaken a lot inside, and that most of it is personal experience. I'm still trying to figure out how they managed to go so deep, because
yeah, I think this is probably where because throughout the years while I was working with oils, I've met different, you know, healers or people who work with very subtle energies and they can perceive things. So sometimes I would hear from them, they would test these oils and they would say these are really powerful, they have very high vibration. So this is the way they could perceive it. And of course, when we don't have the ability, we have to believe. But I've learned also that it's very easy to actually test them with kinesiology. So for example, people who are who have experience with kinesiology, so that means muscle testing or pendulum, they also can test the vibration and the potency of the oils. That's one way. And the other way is definitely by trying. So I've heard it from several people. It was confirmed to me many times that the doTERRA oils have the highest frequency, and they're actually one of the very, very rare oils, company of oils that actually works on chakras. So you can have other companies of oils, other, you know, qualities and so on, but they will not all work on chakras, unfortunately. And of course, you know, my understanding is that one of the reasons is because of the care, the production, the way, the whole kind of chain of how these oils are being produced and brought to us. Yeah. Because the purity is the force, they say. Yeah. So the purity actually brings forth this vibration that it actually stays when we receive the bottles to our homes. So that therefore the vibration that they actually have will be active on our energy levels, and they will be able to work on the chakras. And then again, different oils have different potencies. Some oils will be more potent. And I think we'll talk a lot about the next weeks of which oils work on which chakras. We have some oils that work on all the chakras, So we can use them for each chakra, or some oils will work on just a particular chakra, or they will work just on a particular chakra of a particular person. So for example, two of us would not use the same oils for the same chakras because we have different needs and so on. Yeah, it's something that was
that's the testing kinesiology. If you don't know how to do, you can also connect to us. We can also explain it to you.
Yeah.
And it's very amazing because you can get to know how to test them for your own self. And definitely we will share some basic ground that are still helpful, but then you will like we say, it's all about developing the inner critic, the inner self critic, health critic, because you can really the more you connect with yourself and you go within, you can more and more understand if something is good or not. And then you can have kinesiology, you can have also through some breath work exercises, you can understand. There are many things. Like before doing kinesiology, I was working a lot with hands, and that would be, it's still very much connected to kinesiology, but I didn't know, because kinesiology is basically saying by listening to the stimulus of your body, that's how you get answer. And answer can come through many different ways, and many different many different ways in the body. And it's just amazing. That now is a proper science, like 10 years ago that I never heard of kinesiology. I heard it only a little later, and then I was like, oh, this is, somebody has translated what is common sense.
Right.
Because like I thought it was normal. Oh, that's how the body is responding, and that's actually what I'm gonna do about it. But then because we are so conditioned that we don't trust even ourselves and our body responses, that we actually need to learn how to trust our body. And
right.
So
but I think we can mention here that this is actually one of the reasons why work with oils is helping us to do that, isn't it? This is what I probably mentioned in each of my presentations, that this is the biggest gift of oils, to really become aware of ourselves. So at the beginning, we will use, I don't know, On Guard, for immunity, because we know it helps, or lavender to relax, because we will hear that it helps relax. But with time, we will just be able to observe our body and see what we need. And we will intuitively be able to choose the oil, because we will have already this connection of lavender relaxes me. So I will need to relax something, whatever it is, pain somewhere, tension. I will remember lavender is the one which will help me do that. So we'll start to connect the basically vibration of the oil, which we will be experiencing on our body, with the need that we have in our body. And actually the work with chakras is the same. We now will maybe learn, which we'll be talking about in these sessions, which oils we can use. But with time, when we will see, this means my first chakra is balanced. This means how I feel. This is my third chakra now. I see the difference. And this oil really helped me. And so we will start to recognize ourselves. It will be really like a process of self-healing. It's not just theoretically understanding, but it goes much deeper with experience. So we'll just have to start using the oils and working with them, like that.
Yes, that's beautifully said.
So should we ask, so I think we addressed what the chakras are, but I'm wondering, maybe you could say now more about this balancing chakras, and what does it mean that they're in defect and excess and blocked, and these different understandings. So
each chakra has its own life, has its own experiences. So for example, when we say fear, sometimes we say fear is the first chakra, but actually you can experience fear in all of the others. You can experience fear in the second by being afraid of people, or the third by being afraid of environments, the fourth by being afraid of being alone, like by your own self. And so every chakra has its own ways to express imbalances. And
fear of speech, it's very clear, fear of speech. And then fear of speech is
expression. Fear of being criticized.
Okay.
When the speech is blocked, is because your fear of criticism. When it's the the third eye is because you're afraid of how things are gonna go. For example, you feel like, oh, this is not gonna go well, and then it blocks because you're like convinced that things are not gonna work out well. And then the crown is fear of being alive, of existence. So yeah, so they can all be
so interesting.
And yeah, and then for example, when they are balanced, so like bringing joy in the first one is like you feel nourished. Like when you eat something, you feel like really nourished by the food. You feel very nourished by the little things. But it's a very connected with the earth and with material things. We feel we're just very satisfied where you are with the practical things, with the little things of life. And then the second one, when it's balanced, it just gives openness to all your senses. All your senses feel alive, connected. You feel like happy to be alive. You feel happy to express yourself. Like you want to share with everybody how happy you are, and build connection through that. And then in the third chakra means that you feel that's the beauty of third chakra. And most, it's also one of my the one that I've been working the most, because it's always very interesting, my relationship with it. So when it's very open, you feel very inspired to do things, but with a lot of presence. So it makes you very much present in your dealings, in your action, and you can do so many things and at the same time be present, be aware, be calm. So it's really it's very energetic. And then the heart is the most beautiful, being like a full blossomed lotus where beautiful fragrances come, and you're you are love. You become love. You become so connected with yourself and with the love within your heart that you connect with people, with everything, through this realization. Then the throat one is
that's also when you feel like you don't need love from others to be able to be fulfilled, and you can give because you will not lose anything, and you don't give because of this needing, but so it's very balanced on that. Beautiful.
There is fulfillment in the heart, so you don't seek it, or you don't need to give it even. It's just part of life. It's just part of who you are. And then the throat is on when it's open, is you feel free to fully express. You feel empowered by the thoughts, and you give power to your speech. Every word, like you're fully aware that every word has a power, and you use every word with integrity and honesty, and you are connected, very much connected with that, and you speak the truth. So it's really also amazing. And the third eye then is connected with vision. You have always it's very much connected also with vision for others. Like you have very good vision for yourself and others, very positive. You give blessing easily. You're very happy for others. You're very happy for there is a lot of selflessness. Like you're really open to see the good in others, and of course within yourself. And the last one is unity, deep connection. It's very much connected with the divine, with God. And it's very beautiful experience.
Even when you were speaking, I could see that probably you can also envision some like highly advanced spiritual people that have these qualities in them, and then you can see the power of this energy balances, or even being on a sort of transcendental level. So it's all kind of connected towards transcendence, like that.
I wanted to ask you, what was your experience like with, like the first time you worked, or the first time you worked with an oil and a chakra, that you felt like, like your first time that connected?
That I could see the I have to say that I learned the hard way. meaning that I've made a lot of mistakes in my life like in a recent period, where I realized that if I would have had this understanding of chakras, I would have saved a lot of trouble for myself. So once I realized that, I saw the power of awareness, so just if I am aware, so for me, it started with awareness more than with the oil connection, with the oils, that if I'm aware of where my imbalances is, I will be aware how to protect myself, to not go into situations which will harm me further, which, I'm basically the only person who can protect myself. I cannot expect others. And so this was really interesting experience, because I've quickly understood, okay, this is the knowledge that will really save me many times. And then when I started to work also with oils, I basically used them because I believed the person who was teaching me about this knowledge. And I was like, because I understood, I saw it differently. I saw oils, they work really with my emotions, but chakras for me was still something else. So I'm kind of integrating everything. It's really like a process. And I think that's for me, the really empowering part, because I really see that it works. So more that I work with oils, what I've experienced is that the scent itself becomes more conscious. I actually more consciously work with the scent of the oil. So I don't have my chakra oils here because I've been doing it just before we started there. But let's say I take cedarwood and I would inhale it first, and I would meditate on how it's grounding me, for my first chakra. And then I would apply it on my feet. We'll learn about that next time, And then I would see how it actually helps me, So it actually supports this vision meditation on grounding. It's not doing it for me, even though perhaps some people can have that experience, I'm sure. But for me, it's more like it supports my vision and my work with grounding, for example. And the same with every other chakra, So with the scent itself would help me increase this meditation and experience of the color, of the sound with mantra. So it sort of works in a synergy for me very much. But it was more through awareness for me than the oils themselves for that. But I see how much they help, because the smell itself, and that's I think all of us, we have experiences with oils, how the smell actually affects not just physically wherever we put it, but actually very just vibrational. It will actually reach any part of our body. It's like a miracle, isn't it?
Yes.
So with this, you can actually understand how it works. Before, I always said to people, it works because it goes through the bloodstream. Right, but we feel the effect much quicker. It's very many times we put it on their feet, and we feel the effects much quicker through the smell already, and the signals that smell. There's a smell, so the smell activates the signals in this olfactory system, and then those signals are sent throughout the body. But at the same time, it also works on just this vibrational level. So we apply it, and with meditation, actually, it helps with balancing. And the way I learned about the chakras was also the fact that because of the energy flows, so they flow and they turn, so they start to form a wheel, let's say, in the fifth chakra. So the energy centers, like the energy channels, and then they form a circle here. So then this energy can start turning too fast or too slow. So if it would start turning too fast, my fifth chakra would be in excess. So it means I would have a lot of need to talk and to express myself, and sometimes be very harsh to others and like that. And if it would be in defect, if it would turn too slow, it would mean that sometimes I would be afraid to express myself. I would hold back my words, so I would be very weakened in my expression. And if it's balanced, it's what you were speaking before. It's basically this, both energies are flowing nicely, and it's, the energy is actually present in the right way, so we can express ourselves properly to others, to be understood, and not to be truthful. That's also. But then there's also another thing, which is that a big danger if the chakra is actually blocked. So it's not just the blockage that it's covered, but it's actually that it's blocked, that the energy doesn't flow at all. So we have these energies coming, but they're just blocked here. So, and apparently that's very dangerous. So from these kind of blockages in different chakras, very heavy diseases can come. So like mortal diseases. So if they're not addressed in the right time, they could lead to some more complications. So actually that's why, and also the work on blocked chakras is a bit different. So we would have to see into that maybe at some point, how we can work with that. But yeah, with excess and defect, this for me was very interesting. Like I could see it very much how it works. And sometimes we can have the same chakra in excess and in defect in different situations, you know, like yeah, different situations, how they would affect us. So it's like a constant work. It's like brushing our teeth in the morning. It is like hygienic process. It's normal. We do it every day in the evening as well. So the same work with chakras. I think that you are like that. You're very like, it just for you becomes a part of the routine. You just do it every day because you know this is something that's crucial for your day, how it will go. And
yeah, everybody has to take their medicine. So one can choose which medicine you want to take. And I feel like even though they take time, like it takes me around 20-25 minutes to do it every day, it's still like I'm choosing between health or disease. You know, this time is what I would spend for a disease if I wouldn't do this work right now for myself. And then in that, I find a lot of value. And it's very important what you were saying. Also, when the chakra gets blocked is a really difficult situation. And usually in that circumstance is also recommended to work with somebody, because even myself that I practice often, still when it becomes blocked or when there is really like a heavy energy in that space, then it becomes really challenging to do it myself. I can immediately, as soon as I would just even think about it, I would get all frustrated, and it would be very difficult. So the best is also to work with somebody, but definitely we will share also some little tools that there are some oils in doTERRA that can help with blocked chakras, and we will share these ones that are very precious, very rare, also expensive. Some we still have, but yeah.
Nice. One thought, so this 20-25 minute practice that you're doing, I have a feeling we will get to know it through the next few weeks, isn't it?
Yes.
Basically, you will share with us a lot what you do, how you do it, and we will even have experience of it after each session. We can tell more about that. So that's really nice. I wanted to say also this, that when we speak about balancing the chakras, you know, if we're actually doing some spiritual practice in general, like some meditation, some chanting, whatever we're doing in our life, when we are actually properly absorbed in that practice, our chakras are supposed to be balanced. Yeah, that's the power of spiritual practices. Yeah, when we're properly connected to the higher source, automatically all the chakras balance. But because we are sometimes too conditioned, too caught up in our patterns, maybe you will also say why this happens. Unfortunately, our imbalances actually influence our spiritual practice. This is how I understood it. So of course it helps. Every spiritual practice will help us for sure. That's why we also experience benefits, because the energy is very powerful, spiritual energy. But unfortunately, sometimes we need help from, you know, down. So basically we need to first ground ourselves. Yeah, we know that we first, so just have to work also on our chakras to support our spiritual practice, even though it's powerful enough to do its work on its own, but we are perhaps too caught up.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's like, it is very interesting how I mean, in many, what to speak, but in spiritual life, definitely many understanding about spirituality becomes contorted because of our contorted experiences of what we are going through. So that can really lead us to also toxic relationship with even, you know, God and your relationship with the eternal, with the supreme. So it's really beautiful also how things transform spiritually, because there is also much more naturally one is able to just be himself and understand because the first process is to understand where you are at before you can actually move forward. And many times, because of philosophy or trying to understand and trying to feel that love and trying to, go deeper, we miss out on where we are at. And that's what the chakras do. They bring you they give you the plain reality. Like there is no sugar coating when you work with chakras. Like even if you feel good and you check many times, it's not good. I can feel good and then I check and I'm like, I want to feel good. There is that frustration. It's like I kind of feel good, but the reality is that it's not yet good. And it's beautiful because then you can really make a step back and go deeper into that, and that will prevent you so many troubles that could come out of that. Sometimes we feel good, so we go out and we talk to people and we do, but maybe our second chakra is blocked, so we actually are doing everything out of guilt, and then people react to us out of guilt, and then we get into a really weird situation and we're like, oh, I was feeling so good, why people are like this? It's like people are not like this. That's how they are mirroring what you're actually going through. But because we are lacking this self-awareness, then we think is outside the problem. This person is not good, this person makes me feel angry, right? It's like, okay, and how am I am really good, but just when I talk to, so it means that somewhere there is an imbalance, and because we are not able to honestly look at it, then there will come people that will challenge us in that area.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really
big.
And then
big.
relationship they can become the source of misery or the source of empowerment, because they really reflect ourselves. I love my husband so much because it's just, there is no more plain mirror in my life that I can see every day. And definitely you can discern if he's actually going through something, but I can also understand how much, when I do the work, how beautiful our relationship is and how beautiful it becomes. And also I see him with much more love, and is absolutely amazing how it affects. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, you just mentioned earlier that you check. By that you mean kinesiology, isn't it? You check kinesiology. Yeah. Okay, so there are some ways that we can check ourselves about the chakras, and we will address that. But if we don't have that awareness, we ask somebody who has, and they can help us actually. I wanted to suggest, because it's 10 minutes, we wanted to sort of go for 1 hour. Let's see how it goes.
I haven't seen you drinking your tea. I think
I do. No, it's really nice. I love it. With wild orange. No, I was thinking maybe we could open up for question if somebody has, but before that, I just wanted to just say what our idea is, and you can of course complete me with that, because you definitely have a lot of awareness of what you would like to also go, which direction to go. The idea was that we have few weeks of talks like this, and we will see how it goes. Either we'll talk together or separately, but there will always be a focus on one chakra each week, so next 7 weeks. And each week at the same time on Thursday, we'll talk about this one chakra, and we will get to know it better, how it affects us, so what it means if it's in excess or defect, and what it does if it's balanced. And then of course we will learn how to balance it, and we'll even do practical application of that. Yeah, each week we'll have a different way to address a different chakra. It's really so exciting. Is there something else you wanted to?
Yeah, it's beautiful because it will be really important also your experience in that process, because we will understand them, but we will also have some experiences, some practical experiences, and and then you will understand better also to work in the future with them yourself and feel empowered in that journey. So please join us. It will be fun. We will have also beautiful meditations from Mangala. She's really, really good doing guiding meditation. So that will also be very uplifting. And then we may do also a little workshop on, for example, some yoga practices we would have one day, and then another time some drawings, another time writings, or another time we will do also tapping. That is also very, very powerful. I do it also every morning. That's like it's beautiful, especially for the heart chakra. It's like knock knock. Somebody's here. No, but it's powerful also.
Interesting. Okay, exciting. I'm really looking forward, because yeah, definitely I can understand how with yoga actually you can really work on that. And yeah, no, very, very interesting. I'm really looking forward. I hope that Anna got to hear us, because I only see now that she wrote that she couldn't hear us. I hope she could hear us then. So Anna,
yes,
was asking.
I could hear you. That was only in the beginning. I think you might have been on the phone, because I saw your lips moving, but I couldn't hear it. Then I realized, I think she's on the phone.
On the phone. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so could anybody join, Sri Manjari? Could anybody join these sessions that we have? We don't really have registrations, isn't it? We are like sort of opening it up for now for everybody.
Yeah, we are doing it. This is like our how do you say, we're offering. Just starting, yeah, because online we never know, and I think it's a very valuable knowledge, and I think everybody is very welcome to join. Right. Definitely, if you have essential oils, you get the full benefit. Right. Yeah. So yeah, we will be focusing on work with oils, so that's good to know. So if you do have oils, it's it's good to use them well. We will have always a few different oils to choose from, so you will probably have one of those. If not, you could also do the work later with the recording and so on. Yeah. If there's some more questions, you can ask them now. Otherwise, I have something. So.
I just would like to share my experience, and thank you so much for putting this together. This is like a dream come true for me, because I was thinking I want to share about chakras with others, but I said I know nothing. So thank you so much. I love it, and I just want to share my experience because I'm new to it, but I already see a humongous value. So some of you know that a lot of things happened for me past year with moving, and a lot of things that were exciting. But I found myself where nothing kind of seemed that was going right. I felt like drained, not happy, like I kind of lost myself. That's how I felt. And whenever I moved, I felt like a wall, and I didn't know how to break through. And all my knowledge from the past, like what oils to use and things, like they didn't work. They kind of stopped working. So then I was inspired to get my kind of chakra assessed and see, like, maybe go that route. And so I had this session, and I realized I was informed that most of my chakras are both in access and in defect. And I was given, the oils to use, and also the bija mantras and all this process. And I remember when I did it first time, it felt really awkward. Okay. Especially chanting the bija mantras was like, I was thinking like, what I'm doing here. That's how I felt. But after doing this, I felt amazing. I just felt amazing. I physically, emotionally, however you call it, I felt a huge difference. It just like it was powerful shift, and I felt like a big burden came off my shoulders, and I start to see everything around me in like a totally different light. So then, I start to do it every single day, try. Someday I miss, and sometimes do really quick, like, 1 minute, kind of boom, 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 putting the oils. But I have to tell you that from my experience, the day I don't do it, I feel a huge difference in my attitude, in my behavior, my even satisfaction, fulfillment that I feel. It's amazing. And how you were sharing about, all this kind of subtleties of chakras and those energy that is in our body. Our modern medicine kind of system of healthcare is geared towards very physical roots of the diseases. It's just physical. Sometimes they tap a little bit too. Maybe there's something related to emotions. But this another layer of energetic healing, it's mind-blowing. And I realize, although I have been, using the oils and educating people about wellness for all these years, I realized that I have been missing a big chunk of it. It's this energy healing, which is so, so important. So I just wanted to give this testimony, and I want to inspire every one of you to make time for it and learn about this, because this gives control of our health in our own hands. We can do this. We can put the oils in 7 different places and spend some time every day and be in control. And my husband, he's also doing the chakra.
Wow.
I want to bring him as a I'm going to put him over here on a chair.
Wonderful.
Very good.
As you can see, he's quite strong.
You're not the only male species doing that, but still very, very good.
Yeah.
Because usually, like you see, they're all ladies on this call. So we know that usually, like for the male, it's just much harder to accept those subtleties.
Yeah.
But my husband has been doing this, and he also see the difference, right?
As a man, I'm quite slow into this area, but I notice huge difference, especially on my wife. So I thought
That's the
how
best
she
teaching.
changed, and it was so visible, so tangible. So I was thinking maybe there is something in, and I started to do this, and then I noticed also some positive changes in myself. So then, I'm convinced. No way, there's no problem for me.
Okay.
Very
So
good. Thank you for sharing this.
Thank you so much.
This was the cream on the top in terms of, that it actually works when we apply ourselves. Beautiful. Sarada, she's asking, is smell the most ancient sense which connects with our primordial self? I heard it somewhere. It connects with the parts of the brain, limbic systems. Yes. Which helps with psychological self-attitude. Do you want to say something about that? Basically, connection of the smell to.
I need to read it again. I was still thinking of the previous one because I was.
Okay. Yes.
So it's very beautiful when, oh my God, husband and wife, they can feel each other and be inspired by each other. That's like so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Yeah, it also shows how we're connected in general when we have relationships and we affect each other so much with balances and disbalances. And you'll be a very good example of being balanced couple, affecting each other in a positive way. Very nice.
Yeah. So the question is the smell is the most ancient. I have to say personally, I don't know on shastric way or like by having read it somewhere, but more from personal experience that the smell, it's very, because it connects. So the smell goes actually to the pingala, so to the gland that is regulating everything, the hormones. So the hormones is like how we feel and everything. So definitely, I think that's a very big part of it, because it's directly like going immediately there. So when it goes to that gland, then it goes immediately into the message. It gives messages immediately to the body. So I would completely agree with it. But
basically this is where we are like putting in this essential oils and emotions book, isn't it? In this book we have all about how essential oils actually affect our emotional state. So how they can bring more trust, how we can deal with so-called negative or emotions which are like not helping us so much in the moment. And we can actually call in more joy and abundance and health and wealth and so on. So it's also just an emotional state we can affect. And this energetic state is even like deeper, or it's a different level even. So it works on all these levels. It's like the essential oils work on all these levels. And one thing is with the smell, yeah, it works on this emotional state and so on. And physically we know how that affects. So it's like working one with the other. I think we were talking about it one time, that actually all these layers, they work, they affect each other. Yeah. So physical will many times affect how we feel. Yeah. It's not just the opposite. So it's not just depends on our emotions. This is how our health will be. It's also actually, it affects us emotionally and energetically. So it's like going all ways, both ways. And definitely, it's interesting point about.
It's I was wrong, the pineal gland, not the
yeah.
And then I was just thinking, because yes, the first subtle element is the sound. So then the second one is the smell, and then it goes through. So it is the first one that the essential oil can work with, because that's why mantras, they're even more powerful, and that's we will also add the mantras to the practice. But the second one is the smell, and it's very it's very beautiful, because you don't need to it's the best noise one can make with the smell, like if you want to adjust situations and you can't use any other physical element, and it's powerful.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Do we give some homework, or no? I'm joking. I'm just thinking, how do we conclude that? Because I know we could go on.
I have a little idea that usually I do. That I was thinking maybe we could do. It will take like 5 minutes, and I just came up with it. I hope it's okay. Yeah, is it okay? 5 more minutes? Yeah.
Yeah, if I disappear, it's fine. But you can definitely, please.
I was thinking we can just for a moment have the experience with one oil that we feel it's most that we feel we need the most. That was one approach, but I think it would be nice to also this other approach where we can, for a moment, just connect to our body. So instead of going first to, if you have essential oil, instead of going first to the oil, I want you to go first within ourselves, within our body, just for a few minutes. So you can close your eyes, you can just settle, allow this experience in, allow any agreement or disagreement within ourselves, and just to be present and acknowledge how is our body feeling. We're doing a nice and deep breath, allowing the breath to become slower. And you can feel with your hands, just try to see which part of your body needs most energy. So you can just feel what, maybe you can feel some discomfort in your shoulders, maybe on your feet. Just bring awareness to what feels a little bit not so good, a little bit uncomfortable. And you can place your hand there, or just your consciousness. Yeah, very nice. And then just allow yourself to just relax into that, like completely. Breathe into it, relax into it, accept it. And then you can use one oil. Usually one oil that works, on all chakras is frankincense. And we can apply it there. So if you have your oil close by, you can take it. If you don't, you can also just meditate on the oil and on the smell if you remember it. That's also very powerful. That can help you when you don't have the oil. You can meditate on the smell of frankincense. If you have it, you can rub it in your hands.
I have serenity.
Yeah, it's also good. It's also good. Serenity. Anything that you feel like it's most needed to you. And then you can apply it on that area. You can apply it in more areas. You can put it also on all chakras, so in the throat, on the belly, on the chest, on the forehead, on top of the head, and on the feet, or you can just have it in your hands if you can't go to your feet. And then deep inhale and exhale. Just allow the aroma to be there for you, to guide you into releasing that center. And it's even more powerful to share this together. So I feel very grateful to you all for being here, for opening yourself to this, maybe if you don't know much, or for curiosity, or maybe because of need. Maybe you're going through something and you really want to find peace with it and move forward in your life. So this will help you in that and give you some tools to work with, and also a community, because we can all share our experiences. So I'm very grateful to you all. I hope and wish you all a wonderful evening, a good relaxing moment with yourself and with God within your heart. And see you hopefully next week.
Next Thursday, same time. Thank you so much, Sri Manjari. This was wonderful.
How will we get the link for the
We will keep the same link, I think.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
we will just keep the same link for all the weeks. It will be easier.
And we can share this even if people are not with doTERRA yet.
Yeah, it's
Excellent. Thank you.
I will also make a little post every week. I'm getting fun with the Canva, so hopefully I will
wonderful. Yeah.
send that on Mondays. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.